Hello, I'm Daniel. I'm going to talk to you today about a teaching called The 10 Perfections. And I came up with this as a thing to talk about because not too long ago I wrote an article about the teaching called The 6 Perfections, and somebody commented on my article and said I thought there were 10 perfections, and I had never heard this. The 6 perfections are well known. I had never heard that there might be a bonus round, that there might be 4 more. So I looked into it to figure out what was going on here. What are the 10 perfections? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. So, the 6 perfections were created early in the history of Mahayana Buddhism. It doesn't mean that we do any of this perfectly. It just means that cultivating these virtues is really important. It's really what helps us a lot on the path. And later, 4 more were added to the list to make it 10. The teaching of the 6 perfections can be found in a lot of different texts and from a lot of different teachers, but the teaching of the 4 additional perfections is a little more esoteric. It's kind of mysterious. It's not well known. It's found in a text called the Avatamsaka Sutra, and not in a lot of other places. So the 6 perfections are usually considered a complete roadmap to awakening, but the additional ones can be a little bit helpful to us in bringing us to the path, to the Bodhisattva path. I'm going to go through first the original 6 and then the extra 4, all one by one, and give each one a little bit of attention. To me, this is the most fundamental spiritual teaching. What can we do on the path? This is the greatest thing we can do on the path, okay? So to me, this is fundamental. So the first perfection is Dana Paramita, the perfection of generosity. And it's about more than simply giving things. It's an expression of not being attached to possessions all the time. It also represents, though, other forms of giving, such as giving our time to others, or listening to people that need us to listen, or helping with difficult tasks, or things like that. The second perfection is Sila Paramita. It's the perfection of virtue. And some people use the word morality, and I think we have a lot of baggage with that word, so I use the word virtue. And it's about, not necessarily about living according to rules, but it's about trying to live in harmony with others. Rules are important, and there are lots of rules in Buddhism, and following the rules is important, but this is about just be harmonious in your life. Don't bring chaos to others or to yourself. We should strive to bring harmony to all our relationships, both the personal and professional relationships. Try to be harmonious. Try to help others get along. Try to get along with others. And if we set an example of harmony, then we can make the world a better place just by setting that example. Next is Khasanti Paramita. This is the perfection of patience. And this is not only just don't be impatient, just be patient with yourself and others, but also it's about enduring hardship. It's about being tolerant and enduring hardship and trying not to fall apart when things get hard. It's our ability to weather the storm, and especially to avoid lashing out at others when we're having difficulties that are unrelated to them, which we all do sometimes. That's what the perfection of patience is about. Next is Virya Paramita. This is the perfection of diligence, and this is just keep walking the path even when it's really difficult. And when we think about just giving up. Without diligence, we might not have the determination necessary to keep doing all this. So diligence is what makes us come back to sitting and meditating when we don't feel like it. And diligence is also what makes us to show compassion even to people that we feel like don't deserve it. It's diligence that keeps us doing that anyway. Next is Dhyana Paramita. That's the perfection of concentration. And that is these practices that are dedicated to helping us improve our ability to focus and concentrate. So things like following the breath or following a mantra. These are several different meditation and mindfulness practices We're cultivating our mental stability and our ability to think clearly without getting held back by distractions or preconceptions. We are trying to train our minds so we can have focus, composure, and tranquility. The last one, Prajna Paramita, the last of the 6, is the perfection of wisdom. This represents higher wisdom, transcendental wisdom and insight. This is an understanding that's beyond words and concepts. It's the ultimate understanding of emptiness and the interconnectedness of things. And it transcends the ego, or our small self that thinks of I, me, mine all the time, and lets us engage the world with our true self in a way that's more enlightened and awake. This is our intuition, our innate awareness that we are one with the world around us, that nothing's separate from us, and because nothing's separate from us, no one can be left out of our love and compassion. And when we act with this in mind, when we're able to, then we're dwelling in enlightenment. So to reiterate, the first 6 are considered a complete map to enlightenment. And these additional 4 can be thought of as supplemental material. So number 7 is Upaya Paramita. This is the perfection of skillful means. This represents teachings, activities, and tools that are designed to help bring others to awakening. One who is well versed in this is good at bringing wisdom to others and spreading the teachings. This can be teaching others how to meditate, or leading chants, or just talking about the philosophy behind the journey to enlightenment. This can also represent setting a really good example for the way someone on the path should live. So, we live in the United States. I live in the United States, and I know few people watching this live in predominantly Buddhist countries. So, we all have the experience where when we go to work or when we go to school or in a lot of situations, we're the only Buddhists around. And the other people that we engage with, we might even be the only Buddhist they know. And the skillful means is just showing them this is what a Buddhist is like. This is just doing our best to be a good representative of the path that's represented in the perfection of skillful means. The next one is, the 8th one is Pranidhana Paramita. Pranidhana Paramita, this is the perfection of vows. And this represents really dedicating ourselves to the path by taking vows and really adhering to them. The Bodhisattva vows are taken formally by people who follow the Bodhisattva path sometimes. And they represent the expression of bodhicitta, the desire to attain enlightenment with the intent to help others. And there's a very short version of the Bodhisattva vows that gets chanted in Zen temples daily. And I like the Zen version a lot, but I did take the extended Bodhisattva vows that Tibetan Buddhists take. But I like the Zen version a lot because it just serves as a little reminder of these heavy vows that I've taken, and that's just: sentient beings are numberless, I vow to save them. Desires are inexhaustible, I vow to put an end to them. The dharmas are boundless, I vow to master them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable, I vow to attain it. And it helps to just repeat that and just kind of keep that in our minds. We want to end desires, we want to save beings. That's what this is about. So the 9th one is Bala Paramita, the perfection of powers. And that just represents those natural abilities we gain as a result of our spiritual journey, such as increased concentration, awareness, patience, and compassion. The perfection of powers is just noticing when we get better at concentrating and really focusing our intentions on increasing that, and especially also noticing when we aren't maybe as good at concentrating, and maybe reminding ourselves, just thinking about, well, I can concentrate really well at night after the kids go to bed when it's quiet. I can't concentrate as well in the morning when I'm getting ready, when I'm starting my day, when things are a little hectic around the house, right? And I need to just reflect on, why is it easy here and not here? I want to try to bring this time when I can concentrate over to when it's hard. And it works the same with compassion and awareness, all the virtues we're talking about. Sometimes we're really good at cultivating them, other times we aren't, and what we're trying to do is direct our energy so that hopefully we can bring them more to different parts of our lives. The last one is Jnana Paramita, the perfection of knowledge. And this is the implementation of the wisdom we've gained on the path. This is where we try to bring the teachings into our lives and use them in all of our actions and relationships. So whereas the perfection of wisdom was our intuitive understanding, the perfection of knowledge represents bringing that understanding into our daily lives. So what good is the path if it doesn't help us in our day-to-day life? That's what the perfection of knowledge is about. It's about finding more and more ways to make the path part of our lives. So that's my talk on the 10 perfections. I hope that this talk has been helpful. Thank you for listening.